Jojo, let's start with you. And head coach Josh McDaniels, who has worked hand in glove with Tom Brady here as the offensive coordinator, but he was a head coach, of course, a very young one 8 years ago with the Broncos. How has he evolved as the years have progressed as a coach?
Well, Hannah, Patriots offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels told me in our conversation that he has matured so much in his personal evolution since being the head coach of the Denver Broncos back in 2009 and 2010, telling me, quote, "I have a different perspective now that I probably would not have had I not gone through that experience." McDaniels telling me, "What I have found is that there are a lot of different people who need to show up at work feeling good every day and supported in their roles, and I'm a lot more encouraging now in giving feedback and also in receiving input as well." And on a side note, head coach Bill Belichick says that there were no significant setbacks with the limited players, including tight end Martellus Bennett with his knee and wide receiver Chris Hogan with his side. Although special teams ace Nate Ebner continues to progress through the concussion protocol that he's been in following the AFC Championship game. Now for a report on the Falcons, let's send it over to Ed Warder.
Well, Josine, as you know, every NFL team expects its players to demonstrate competitiveness and toughness. Well, general manager Thomas Dimitroff actually devised a grading system that the Falcons use to characterize those specific characteristics after every game. Players are evaluated by the coaches, provided a competitive toughness score as individuals. The players then grade themselves and their position group, and those are all aggregated to achieve an overall grade, and the results are made known to the entire team. Well, nothing will test the competitive toughness of the Falcons like tomorrow night when they confront the enormity of challenging the Patriots for the Lombardi Trophy.
The competitiveness part, that's your urgency and the way you're trying to go battle for it. The toughness side really has two components. It shows your resiliency, and then the extreme physical toughness that we want to play with. So those two things, it may not show up in a production sheet, but there's a real standard of how you want to play.
It sets the tone for what we want from our players, what Dan wants from the guys on our team, and I think it gives a quantitative value to things that are important, toughness and competitiveness, playing the right way. I think those are incredibly valuable.
You don't want to let your brothers down. You don't want to go out there and loaf on a play where you should have got a block or you could have got a block. So we just put it out in front of everyone. I mean, it's no secret on our team. Like, just do your job, and I mean, it's just a standard we have on the team.
Well, the inspiration for this was owner Arthur Blank's comments questioning the toughness of his football team when he fired Mike Smith as head coach in 2014. His mandate was to find players tough enough to play to the line of legality and to have coaches who coach that way. Defensive line coach Brian Cox told me the other night the intent of determining a CT score is to reveal from a mental and physical standpoint whether individual players will wilt under pressure, and from a competitive standpoint of view, whether the player will fight until the fight is won. Hannah, statistics are not part of the equation, and the team and the players very secretive about giving examples of these grades. In fact, I asked Mohamed Sanu how high Julio Jones' score was following his 300-yard game against Carolina, and he said, I think it was a 9.9 something. It's a scale of 1 to 10, obviously.